Would you like to see what happens to this Star Wars collection once a year? Join me on this journey. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. This is Paul Knapp coming to you from Virginia Beach, Virginia. It is a Monday, May the 9th, 2022. And once a year, I get to clean these. This is in my garage. There are over 1,000 Star Wars figures, 3 3/4 scale. That's all I collect is 3 3/4 scale. There are no vintage figures. These are all the newer ones, even from the newer movies, which I have down here at the very bottom. Everybody always asks, how do I keep these clean? Well, guess what? I don't keep these clean. Let me show you what happens if I move one of these. See that? You can see the ring of dust. None of this is clean. This is a garage. Gets a lot of pollen, especially in Virginia Beach. I have the garage door open most of the time, so yes, these guys are dusty. Dusty, big time. So, what I do once a year, once I get new figures, you see the top shelf up here, these are all new figures that are not in order. Those are just new ones I've picked up over this past year. I glue them to their bases and I glue all their any gear on. And I just set them up top. So when the time comes once a year, I get a bunch of new ones, get them all ready, and then we have to put them back in alphabetical order. How do I put them in alphabetical order? I only use this book. And to know which ones I have, I've come up with a sticker system. You can see here. The colors don't mean anything, it just means I have that figure. So if there's no sticker beside it, that means I don't have that figure. And I know which ones to look for. Started this several years ago when I started my collection, so I just put these little stickers in there. Picked up a couple of new figures, so I've got bases for those. I use the clear round bases with the one peg. So I'll be taking these out of their boxes, adding them to the collection. This is the glue that I use to hold all their weapons down and hold them to the bases. I have been able to remove them if I need be, so I know that glue works. That's what I've been using for years. People ask, and that's what I use. So the Goop, G-O-O-P, works great. So I'm going to be starting this project today. Again, over 1,000 figures. I can usually get through a shelf or two per day, trying to put these in alphabetical order. You can see here, here's where I start. So these would be the A's and B's and so on, all the way down to Z. But since I'm running out of space, I'm running out of room, and I can only go 5 deep on this because these shelves are pretty short. I don't want to go any longer than that. If they stick out much further, people hit into them in the garage. I've decided to take all the figures on the bottom, which are not in that book, because they're all from the newer movies, and I'm going to start adding them to the G.I. Joe line. So what I'm going to do is, I got a big gap here between these two shelves. I don't have it on the other ones. I don't know why I did it that way, but that's just how I did it when I made these. So I'm gonna put another shelf in between there, and I think I could still fit probably 2 rows of figures here with a shelf, and it still give the G.I. Joes space. So I can put a row all around between that second and third one, and that'll give me plenty extra space for any overflow G.I. Joes and give me room for the future. So that's my project this week or 2 weeks. Hopefully I can, at the very least, get these cleaned off and put back up, save that bottom shelf for when I build this shelf, hopefully within a week or 2. But I will keep you posted, and let's start cleaning. So the easiest way I've found to do this is I remove an entire shelf. This shelf is not attached, obviously, it's just sitting on the brackets. I remove it, set it down on a table, pull all the figures off, dust the shelf, and then put the shelf back up empty, and start putting the figures in order. Or I'll put the figures in order here. But like I said, I got to figure out putting everything in alphabetical order first. So here is the first shelf. I basically take it off the wall, set it here, jump all the figures off. I will then clean. You can tell how dirty that is. I will clean this off. Then I'll clean the bases of the figures and any dirt that's on the figures. And I usually just use something simple, so I'm not wetting it all the time. I'm just using the Lysol wipes, and then I'll start putting them back in order. You can see here, for as hot as it gets at Virginia Beach, I actually ripped the paint off. Now this was just foam, so no big deal, but it ripped the paint off. Paint's on some of those bases, but here we go. So as I'm going through this, when I start, I'll refer to the book, and if I have a dot, for example, I know I have that figure, and if I just took it off the shelf, should be fairly close to putting it right back where it came off of. However, if I come to a figure that I don't see right here on the shelf, I know that's a newer figure, so then I can refer back to the latest ones that I bought this past year, and I don't see it there. Then we go down here, and there she is. So that's why I keep them in order. The minute I buy one, I go right to the book and I put a dot in there so I know I have it. And then once a year, usually around May 4th or so, I go and do my cleaning and put them all back in order. One shelf done, approximately 2.5 hours. Okay, so here we are, 1 week later, doing about an hour or two every evening, cleaning and dusting. Total numbers are 1,230 loose but complete Star Wars figures. That includes the new movies at the bottom. So, and I compiled them by alphabetical order using the book that I showed you. And also, I tighten them up. There's approximately 33 rows, all of which are 5 deep, as you can see. And by tightening them up, I was able to free up some more space for some future figures. So, and even after using the book, you can tell here, the last figures in the book should be these guys here, and I still screwed up somewhere and missed a lot of figures. These figures should be in alphabetical order. So next year at this time, we'll be putting those in order, along with hopefully filling up that row, buying some more stands, and adding to the collection. As always, thanks for watching.